Come on, motherfucker! Come on, motherfuckers, come on! Come on, motherfuckers, come on! Yeah. Come on, motherfuckers, come on! Come on, motherfuckers, come on! Release the brainstorm to make your motherfucking brain warm. A strange form, something kinda lyrical. Biggie the bastard, so that's kinda spiritual. Well, in God we trust, guns out bust, got that disgusting suicide thumping. And do you know where you're going to? Do you like the things that I bring? I got 7 Mac 11s, about 8, 38s, 9 9s, 10 Mac 10s, the shits never end. You can't touch my riches, even if you had MC Hammer and them 357 bitches. Come on, motherfuckers, come on. Come on, motherfuckers, come on. Come on, motherfuckers, come on. Come on, motherfuckers, come on.
You're listening to Billy and the Bird.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Billy and the Bird. I'm your host, Michael Lenkto. I'm here with Billy Michael Boudreaux and Kyle the Bird Siegel. Yeah, Kyle, that's what I'm talking about. Now we're bringing some energy to the show. Let's jump right in with some fan mail we received. Dear Billy and the Bird, I'm your biggest fan. 10 exclamation points. You guys are great at explaining fantasy football stats, but I believe there should be more musical segments on the show. Personally, I would like to hear fantasy football parodies of songs. Can you make it happen? Keep up the great work. Slothzilla504. Thank you very much, Slothzilla. Keep your fan mail to yourself. We don't give a shit. Let's jump into free agency from last week, guys, shall we?
I was going to say, do we even own that well of editing software?
We're not talented. We're not skilled.
I don't know, I'm pretty great. Did y'all hear that Andre song from last week?
Yeah, maybe there's
or
a time for
last
that.
year.
I mean,
there's a time for
free agency. Philip Lindsay, I knew he was going to go first. 30 was the average price. Noon 31 was odd, though. That was a lot of money.
Kyle, what are we looking at?
Waiver wire. You came for the waiver, you stay for the wire.
God damn!
50% waiver, 100% wire. Waiver wire.
There we go. We're adding our creativity to the show. Yeah, so big prices, big names. Philip Lindsay garnishing 31. Quincy Enunwa 31. 2 that we didn't expect to go that high. A couple more. Ian Thomas at 26. A couple misbids. Jets defense for 16. There are a couple good pickups in here. A couple really bad drops. What's the biggest thing you're taking away from that auction report from the 13th?
People have learned that a lot of the best players are week ones. Like, you got to get them then. It's every passing week, you have less and less likely to get anybody worthwhile. So people are going big in the first week.
Yeah, I'm sitting here scratching my head at some of these pickups. You know, it's like, it's trouble if you put up 26 for a backup tight end and no one else put a bid for him. And then he does terribly.
I mean, that was just a desperation. It was like the handcuff to his own tight end that went down.
I don't like it. I mean, I felt like there were probably better options out there than an unproven backup tight end. That being said, I mean, I guess you got to do something. But yeah, I mean, we've always talked about how people just make crazy bids and they'll have it with no one else putting bids in.
It's what the silent bidding's all about. You have no idea.
That's why I like it.
Oh, the bidding system is great. Look at Cecil dropping the Chargers defense to pick up the Jets defense. When I saw that, I wanted to pull out my hair for not drafting him to my division. What an idiot!
I saw that,
what
I
an
put
idiot!
money on it, and then I realized I couldn't outbid Kyle's ass.
Yeah, the Chargers defense, the Jets defense in his defense had a decent night. They scored 10 points against Miami. The Chargers defense, who they dropped, had a better night. And it's. Jonnu Smith was another tight end, picked up for $14, 0 production. You don't get these fantasy dollars back, except for when you.
Well, we do get it back actually, but yeah.
A lot of desperation. Well, the thing is, a lot of people's tight ends went down. And that was the thing. I think that's what set the market. Is because so many tight ends went down, nobody knew what the market was, which is why you see these inflated prices.
Turns out that Will Dissly was the best one to go for. He ended up scoring a touchdown with 2 seconds left in the game. What do y'all think about Soyuz picking up Joe Flacco as a quarterback for $11?
Nobody else wanted Flacco.
For 11, I don't hate it.
But he wanted Flacco.
I don't like Thursday night games, but I mean Flacco's played pretty okay so far in these 2 games.
He has no backup quarterback, and the quarterbacks in the waiver wire are not the best. So.
Yeah, I don't mind the pickup, and he ended up doing decently. It's just like you got to know that no one's competing for you for Joe Flacco. You don't want to waste money for Joe Flacco. Same thing I'm feeling about some of these backup tight ends.
You also
It's
don't
like
want
you don't drop
anyone else on the
26
waiver
for
wire.
Ian Thomas, where only 3 people in our league might have known who Ian Thomas was, and no one was putting a quarter of their overall like budget into it. So it's like you got to have a more balanced approach to these bids you're putting up. But
when has our free agency ever not been absolutely stupid though?
it'll get there.
We're just lucky to not have somebody literally dropping 100 on these people.
Well, it happens, but I think we're getting better. It's just everyone's still kind of getting used to the free agency system, but it's definitely a little bit more skill oriented, and I think it adds a lot to our league. Let's move on to the free agency report from that Saturday. And the only thing to mention here, the only big thing to mention here was there was a secondary bidding war for the Chargers defense that Cecil dropped, and they ended up garnishing more value and more points than the Jets defense, which he picked up to drop them.
There was $22 spent that time on people that Cecil dropped because he also dropped O.J. Howard.
And O.J. Howard had a monster game.
Mm-hmm. Joe got him for $2.
That was probably the big tight end pickup of the weekend. Then
I think some of the best pickups are the ones that people that drop. The actual free agent thing is usually not that great, but the ones that it's capitalizing on someone else's stupid mistake is usually the best way to go.
Seems to be so far.
I think
what we're looking
it's going to
at.
be a different market once the bye weeks come out, and then you have to start making some tough decisions on who stays on your team, and so you have to drop people.
Yep.
Let's jump into matchups. First matchup of the week we're going to look at is Kelvin the Coin versus Caveman the Cave. Guys, what do y'all see here?
Can someone? Well, first off, what's with his name? I don't get the coin.
It's a Hearthstone reference.
I don't know. I thought.
Oh,
okay. I'm glad
don't
one of
care.
us knew.
Never mind. Let's move on. All right. Well, Kelvin started Titty Boy here. Not sure why. I guess Deshaun. I don't know why he started him over Deshaun Watson.
Maybe just didn't have any faith.
He was a high pick. He was a top 5 quarterback taken, I believe. It's a little bit of a rookie mistake.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can get a good feeling sometimes, but and maybe Mitchell Trubisky had potential to have a good game, but
against
you got
the
to go
Seahawks
with
versus the Titans. I don't know about that. But
you got to go with the low floor of Deshaun Watson. I think this was a mistake on Kelvin's part. It didn't cost him the game. He had like a pretty bummer week for most of his players anyway. But he'll probably correct that mistake next
week. Eric Ebron is secretly the 6th best tight end.
I don't know that I agree. I think he did okay, actually. Most of his players did okay, except for Dion Lewis, who's more of, not really meant to be a starter for him because of Le'Veon, or maybe at least was meant to be his RB2. Most of his players did okay. I mean, except for, like I said, Dion Lewis and the defense and Joku, which tight end's a crapshoot nowadays. He didn't do terrible.
Caveman moves to 2-0. Alvin Kamara had another good game. Phillip Rivers going well for him, scoring 90 points. Caveman's looking pretty good in his first year back into the league, guys.
It didn't matter, but Kamara almost had, 2 touchdowns that got called back on shitty holding calls and stuff like that. So he almost had a monster game.
He's 2-0 in his division, and no one else in that division has a win. That lead is comfortable.
Oh yeah, that's how you start a fantasy football season, having everyone else 2 games behind you after only 2 games. Kenny Golladay looks like a good pick. I mean, this guy's got 13 receptions through 2 games, 25 points. I mean, what round was that guy picked in?
The Lions have been not great, but he's been the only one who's stepped up in their receiver core. And Piggy Boy's been looking to him early and often. He's got 13 receptions on the year now. That's great.
Cave's got a good team, man. He's got Goodwin and Alshon Jeffrey going to be coming off an injury soon. Good backup quarterback.
Cave might have the best bench in the league.
Yep. Moving on to our second matchup, we have Andre taking the L by the groin and the po' boy Jesse Vance. What do you guys see here?
I mean, the obvious thing, Vance lost because Greg the Leg got hurt.
Yeah, so it was opening kickoff, and Greg the Leg, who's one of the best kickers in the league, pulls his groin and is out for the game. Vance goes on to lose by a little under 2 points. So you got to think that if Greg finishes out the game, he would have come on top here. It's just not the most Jesse Vance type of loss we had this week. I mean, it has his name all over it.
To be fair, Andre's hobbled with Devonta Freeman out, but it's a really close game, and it sucks.
I mean, he started Ben Roethlisberger even after the off week in week 1 against Cleveland. He stuck with his guns. He went Roethlisberger, and it paid off. It basically got him the win
I mean,
just by
is
himself.
he gonna go Tannehill though? Like he has no choice. He drafted him early. He wants him, so he's at home. He'll pay off.
Following up off of the Deshaun Watson thing that I said with Kelvin matchup, Vance benched Marshawn Lynch for T.J. Yeldon, which I guess wasn't a terrible move, but there's a lot of people not sticking with their studs early. A lot of people ended
up costing him.
Yep.
Costing him the game. Let's bring in Andre in here and see what he has to say about everything. Andre, how you doing, buddy? To get more insight on this matchup, let's bring in Andre, Devil, Dangerous, Delanaville.
That's a man's hit.
McRips are back at McDonald's for 99 cents. I tell you what, man. When pork season's in town, so is vape season.
Nice.
Oh, man.
I've got blueberry, and that's about as fun as it gets.
All right, Kyle, you got a question for Andre before he passes out?
Yeah, speaking of porking, Andre, in this post-Me Too world, how do you feel that your violent fucking of Vance has led to rape allegations? Do you have anything to respond to your accusers?
Well, my groin's still intact, so I can feel the vendetta coming, but I'm still willing to give Jesse a ride home.
Boudreaux, taking on with question number 2.
How do you feel about being Langto's leading sex slave? Because you're tied with him at 2-0 in the division.
So the problem is I'm not scoring enough points, right? And I've already cashed in my check. Devontae Adams is not doing anything. He's actually goose egging for what, like 2 or 3 weeks? And so honestly, if Big Ben doesn't score 4 touchdowns a game, Langto, it's your year, man.
Would you consider yourself then a power bottom?
I like Big taken a few times.
Final question for you, Andre. How close were you to sitting Ben Roethlisberger after his horrible week 1 and not winning week 2 because of it?
So, I mean, like now I'm getting the rape allegation joke. It flew over my head a little bit, just like all the balls.
Oh, I didn't think that. I was just purely a rape joke.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like it's perfect now, right? Everyone's thinking about it. But man, I was working my shift over at Best Buy, changing prices and having a deep inner dilemma. Ryan Tannehill, he carried me to the playoffs a few years ago. Ben Roethlisberger, he's new to my bench. I got Old Bay versus New Bay. I had to start New Bay.
New Bay.
Ben, because Ben is old.
What I'm hearing
Ben is
here
really
is
old.
that Best Buy is substantially better than World Deli, and World Deli is basically shit on bread.
I mean, well, if you really want to compare,
you heard it here first on Billy and the Bird. Thank you, Andre. We'll talk to you again real soon.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's great. Good talking to you too. Moving on to our next matchup, we've got Nobel Prize versus Joe. That's Soyas versus Joe, a.k.a. the Mac Attack. He just changed his team. What do you guys see in this matchup where Joe picked up a couple injuries? Soyas had a decent production from his ragtag bunch of wide receivers, quarterbacks, and running backs.
Yeah, considering how he didn't look like he was going to be going into this week particularly strong, especially down both Josh Gordon and Marcus Mariota. But he pulled out the win.
I mean,
Josh Gordon heading to New England. That's going to be big for him.
He had the fun situation. Sorry, he had this fun situation where if Russell Wilson threw that pick 6, his defense got all the points. And Khalil Mack is terrifying.
It's true. I'm afraid of the Bears defense. I have to play them next week, and they have a juicy matchup against Arizona. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, wait. Blake Bortles, 32 points. That was great.
Joe had a couple injured running backs, but on Soyas' side, he's got a couple of good running backs. Jordan Howard's getting touches. James Conner, he's sitting his second-round pick, Christian McCaffrey. And he also picked up that Philip Lindsay, who had a good week, showing that he might have actually been worth the money he put down in the free agency for him.
Certainly, but I don't know if I agree with Jordan Howard. I'm not a fan of Jordan Howard. He's that offense hasn't looked great, and hasn't exactly been stellar defenses they've been facing. But I guess they could turn it around.
No, he's going to try to trade one of those running backs. He's got 4 of them.
Will he? I don't see Big C as being particularly aggressive with trade offers. He usually just accepts them.
His quarterback situation ain't the best. He's going to look for one.
I'll believe when I see it.
True. Moving on to our next matchup, I played Michael Migliori, and it was a high-scoring affair in which I came out on top. What do y'all see about Miggs' team?
It looked pretty good.
Amari Cooper's alive. Like he's not amazing, but he's there.
Jamison Crowder's hot garbage. That's what I see. That's the first thing that jumps out. Besides that, I mean, I guess I don't know if I trust Bilal Powell regularly, but yeah, he's got a. I guess that's just a holdover for Mark Ingram. But yeah, Miggs has a pretty good team. I think Aaron Jones coming back is going to be huge too.
Yeah, it's balanced. He put up a lot of points. It's just unfortunate he played against me. Patrick Mahomes went absolutely bonkers, 6 touchdowns. It's like he'll probably never do that again in his career. But man, was I glad I had him on my roster when he did.
Yeah.
And then Patrick Mahomes and Juju lit it up in the same game. It was a shootout.
Rest in peace, Michael Migliori. We'll take this quick break for some commercials so we can make some money, and we'll be right back. Where's your sound effect, Kyle?
Ah!
Welcome back to Billy and the Bird.
Ah!
Let's start off with Billy's matchup. Billy, you played Cecil this week, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Starting off 2-0, I guess you won. Looks like you won 82-60. So, I mean, first thing I have to say is Cecil, God, his team's terrible.
No, it's just he's got some problems, some holes to fill.
LaShawn McCoy cracked his ribs, and Jarvis apparently also got banged up a little bit. I mean, his team, yeah, those RBs just got worse somehow. He needs to do something to fix his
He's got that
lineup.
swag value.
Why does he still have Amir
Still has Amir Abdullah.
Why does he still have him? Like he's got like 3 players that are unplayable on his bench right now, and he's scoring the least amount of points in the league. He needs to make some changes.
4, 5 on. He's got Will Dissly, who he picked up and just didn't play him. Well, I guess it makes sense not to play him,
Yeah,
but
he could. Some people. Who
I think you got to hold it 1 or 2 more weeks. But then again, because you're not going to have people aren't going to buy it right now, I don't think. But yeah, Nick Chubb unplayable.
Also, Jameis Winston might not have a job if Ryan Fitzpatrick still.
His whole bench is basically worthless. Miggs really messed up not taking the number 1 overall.
I have no idea why he didn't do that.
It makes no sense.
I'm so happy.
Tyreek Hill keeps going.
That offense is just lighting everybody up.
Yeah.
Are you fully buying in on Deshaun Jackson now, or are you going to sit him on the bench for week 3 as well?
No, he's in because apparently I have the first and second wide receivers in the league right now. So why would I not start him?
Are you going to give Wentz 1 more week, or are you going to keep
Wentz is in
Goff?
already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got the lineup set.
He's projected to score 19 points. Not a bad outlook. Next matchup is VJ versus the Gator Boys, in which VJ put up 112. Gator Boys with a decent 77, but it wasn't enough. Kirk Cousins leading VJ's team there with 33 points.
He's gotten 100 in back-to-back weeks with you. That's just terrifying.
I don't get the Garoppolo love that was coming into the year. He still hasn't put up great numbers. I mean, his receiver core is not great, but still, he's more of a Alex Smith kind of guy where he just dinks and dunks it. He's not going to put up huge numbers, I don't think.
I mean,
unless he's
once
got a really
again,
great matchup.
he's about to go against the 31st ranked defense in fantasy. So.
And then he goes against the Chargers. Then he goes against Arizona.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah, then he goes against the Rams. He does not have an easy schedule.
I think Garoppolo is a good quarterback, but I don't know if he's necessarily a good fantasy quarterback.
Yeah, well, that's the
Especially-
thing we're playing here. Alex Smith is a great a solid quarterback, but he doesn't usually put up numbers.
Especially with the Jared McKinnon injury early, maybe losing a pass receiving running back hurt him.
Just hurts the offense as a whole.
Larry's going to be hurting with that offense too. He's just not doing what he needs to do.
Oh, is that offense bad? I hadn't noticed.
Utaro versus Reed was a low-scoring affair, but Reed moves to 2-0 after putting up 61 points against Utaro's 55. Did Utaro make a mistake by not starting a player he could have?
I mean, what, Corey Clement? He's not even the... Yeah, he's
no,
not even
you
the
can't
number
play
one,
Corey
though,
Clement. That was purely off of the injury to Ajayi. And I don't know if I would have trusted Tyler Lockett right out the gate.
I mean, also, Tom was going against Jacksonville. Tom goes against anyone else. He's putting up 20-plus points, which makes this game a lot more competitive. But to be fair, Reed did win by playing Leonard Fournette, who didn't even play.
Are you nervous by Peyton Barber, who is on a winning team and getting plenty of touches, but has given you nothing for points?
Yeah, I wouldn't keep doing that until he starts providing some benefit. I mean, not. I mean, the New Orleans game, he only got 7 points, and that was just a 48 points put up. He still only got 70 yards.
I mean,
Um,
the Buccaneers offense right now is just Ryan Fitzpatrick lighting it up. And if Ryan Fitzpatrick goes back to the mean, then Peyton Barber's value goes up because then he can't just light up everybody. But I have no idea if that's going to be happen. So
I mean it was an ugly win for Reed, but Drew Brees coming through again. Emmanuel Sanders is the number one wide receiver in football for yardage, I think, at this point. Maybe it's Tyreek Hill.
I mean, Keenum's not that bad. So like he's helped. Sanders is obviously doing much better because of it. Because they've been horrible for quarterback for the past few years.
yeah.
So if you're Reed, you got to be thinking, hey, like I didn't score the most in weeks 1 and 2, but I'm out 2-0. Leonard Fournette's gonna be healthy at some point, and some of these other players are gonna light up. Devontae Adams has had a couple good games.
Yeah, especially if Rodgers continues to get healthier. I think that'll be huge. And they had 2 back-to-back really tough matchups, and it lightens up a lot from here on out. Washington, Buffalo, Detroit, San Francisco. They don't really play a tough matchup again until
Royce
week 8.
Freeman is gonna be like a thorn in his side for a while.
That was a touchdown that saved his game. He didn't have very good.
Got Baltimore next week, but then again, Baltimore got shit on last week. So
Moving on to our final matchup of week 2, Arbob and Ibrahim Ajay took on the Bird.
ooh, Kyle, you lost to Browntown.
And won in pretty decisive fashion. Matt Ryan with a rushing touchdown. Michael Thomas with some clutch touchdown
Yeah,
time.
2 rushing touchdowns.
2 rushing touchdowns. Brutal.
I mean, what can you do when Matty Ice is running on you, Kyle?
What's going on?
What's going
What's
on
with
Michael
David
Thomas.
Johnson?
That offense is horrible.
That offense is god awful. They haven't used him too much. He only had 14 touches.
They didn't get past the halfway point until like 7 seconds left in the fourth quarter. That's how bad that offense is.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch. I'm
Yeah.
playing against Chicago's defense against that offense next week. Ouch. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt.
Crabtree.
Are they gonna
Crabtree's
sit,
also,
are they gonna sit the quarterback and start Rosen, the backup quarterback for Arizona?
possibly, but they're throwing him to the wolves if they do that. Like, are you gonna start your rookie against Khalil Mack?
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. Mason Crosby putting up 18 points as a kicker for Arbob. That must help a little bit.
I mean, it's always nice when your kicker goes off. That's why you draft the guy like on a good offense, or the hope at least.
So that'll do it for this week's or week 2's matchups. Let's move on to Joe's week 2 power rankings. See where everyone lines up on there. What do you think, guys? Cecil at the very bottom. I think he deserves to be there.
I mean,
Averaging 55 points per game.
wait a minute. He could have won 3 games this week. Is that where his three's coming from?
He could have won 3 games overall, like this whole season.
Yeah. He's gonna have an uphill climb.
I see that as well. Boudreaux, you're actually number 1. I didn't even notice that. You're number 1 on the power rankings. How the hell did you get up there,
I
man?
think it's the ROS roster. I don't know what the hell that stat is, but
I think it also it factors in your division.
true.
And right now, me, Utaro, and Utaro are the bottom 3 teams. So that basically guarantees them a playoff berth, which is all that really it factors
no,
in.
because
I
VJ
believe.
has higher playoff odds. He's at 91. I'm only at 85. Caveman's at like 82. Well, that might work into that because Caveman's 82 and no one else in his division has a win.
It might be because you have to play me. It
That's
also
true.
might factor in your schedule. I don't know. We've always trying to figure out the
Fucking
magic
stats.
of Joe's. Yeah.
So let's move on to free agency for this week.
It's gonna be a barren
Who's
week.
gonna be who? Let's try to figure out who
Money.
the highest bid is gonna go to. Which player is gonna receive the highest bid?
I think it's gonna be the kicker Dan
Bailey
Bailey.
or Advance is going to have to pay money for Jesse James. Because we have a lot of
Interesting
people who
kicker.
need some tight ends, and that man apparently. We already seen people put up stupid money for people who score a lot of points. So, if Will Dissly can do it, then Jesse James can too.
Jesse James, Austin Safarian Jenkins was another big name. He ended up getting a touchdown this last week.
He got a few targets too. Yeah, he looked solid.
It's just such a hard life for tight ends in this league. I don't see any of them.
And for Kyle, you said Dan Bailey. The funny part is, for most people, it might be just switching out a kicker, but Vance needs a kicker now. and he's got to keep Greg on his bench.
Yeah, I feel like it's probably going to be someone, unless Russell was going to throw down the money. I think someone's going to outbid him.
Do y'all see anyone receiving over a $15 bid in this week's free agency?
Yes, I don't know who, but somebody will pay $15.
Not justifiably, you're saying. no one deserves the $15 bid, but someone's going to go out there and throw.
I can't claim to know the market. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, that's fair.
If you're desperate for a QB, I could see it, I guess. I don't know who besides Big C would be looking for one, but even Big C's got Flacco, who's probably going to roll. He's going to roll with. So
the free agency quarterbacks are up against some tough defenses, so I don't see that happening.
Oh wait,
yeah, it's going to be a pretty quiet week for free agency.
Oh, I'm sorry if I'm ruining this for people, but Tavon Austin, boys and girls, I want you to see something.
Running back / wide receiver.
The magical designation.
He had 3 touches. That is Tavon Austin. It's he had 3 touches and he scored 15
Someone
points.
explain this to me. This isn't the picture I was expecting to see when I clicked on Tavon Austin. Is this a different Tavon Austin?
That is Tavon Austin.
No, it's Tavon Austin. There's only one fucking Tavon Austin.
Has he always looked like that? He's never looked like that.
Yes.
Dude looked like he spent the night like getting in a fist fight.
But he's got that dual designation. It's just fun to watch that happen.
I thought he had blue eyes too. I don't know, man. That doesn't look like Tavon Austin.
Why would he have
How
blue
much do
eyes?
you know about
This
Tavon
is
Austin?
bullshit. I don't know. Wasn't he like dating a Kardashian or something at some?
What are you talking about? Does like having a stroke on air?
Like, come help me out, Kyle. Come to the room. I'm not doing too well, man. I don't know. I just don't remember Tavon Austin looking like that. Hang on. Let me look up a picture of Tavon Austin. Share it with you guys.
I think he looked a little meaner. He used to have like a pouty lip.
Because you.
There's nothing on free agency. This is all we got.
You started it, man. I guess he does look like that. Poor guy. Anyway, I think that's all we got for this week on Billy and the Bird.
Fuck you.
Suck it, bitches.
Later.
Break your ass open and fill it up with semen. You stand a chance, bitch, you dreaming. Big dick, can't drink it all the pussy with. Big dick, can't drink it all the pussy with. He'll take your photo and steal your soul. Pull down your pants and take your hole. Big dick, can't drink it all the pussy with. Big dick, can't drink it all the pussy with. Some say he's just a man, but I know better, cause I take a god to get that pussy anywhere. Big dick, can't drink it all